Good morning, students. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, before I start the class, I would like to tell you instructions to those who are not attentively attending classes. All right, there is no force. You need not simply log in and just be there in the class. As I told you, I have this extension downloaded from Google Meet where I will come to know how many of you are there during whole class session. All right. So I'll get that indication how long you are actively there in the meeting. So if you are not interested, you need not be here. Okay. If you don't want to learn, nobody's forcing you. Okay. Yeah. 51 are present. Okay. I'm observing that there are continuous absentees in the past few classes. I hope people, those who have got vaccinated, are fine now. Have recovered from fever or whatever. All right, let's start. Shall we start? Okay. So today's session we will be discussing about BJT as a switch, used as a switch. All right. So I hope when you get this name switch, you are able to recall a common conventional switch, what we have, the mechanical switch, what we use generally in our homes, right? Where you have just two contacts there. When there is contact, the switch is on. When there is no contact, the switch is off, right? So in mechanical switch, you have only two options where the switch is closed or open, isn't it? So if at all, if I have any application, say where I have a lamp, I want to switch on this lamp and there is battery, and if I use switch, so there is only two options, right? So if the switch is closed, the bulb will glow. If the switch is open, there is no current flowing through the circuit, so the lamp or the bulb will be switched off. All right. So in the same condition of, say, when there is full current flowing through the circuit and when there is no current flowing through the circuit, depending on the position of the switch, okay, whether it is closed or open, this bulb or the lamp can be turned on or turned off, right? So in such application also you can use BJTs. All right. BJTs also can be used as switch, where typically comparing with the same operation as a normal conventional switch what we have. So if you recall, I had told you BJTs operate in three different regions, right? One is active region, saturation region, and cutoff region. So today we'll be elaborating and understanding more about, if at all BJT, if we are using as a switch, how is it working as a switch, okay? Wherein we will be concentrating on BJTs working in saturation region or cutoff region, all right? If you recall, I had told you whenever BJTs are used for amplification process, then generally the BJTs will be working or operating in active region, also called as linear region. All right. Now, if at all I want, say, full current to flow through the BJT, or there should no current flowing through the BJT, taking these two options, So the BJTs can be made to operate either in cutoff region or saturation region. All right. So all these things you will be understanding as we proceed in our class today. All right. So by the end of this class, you will be able to discuss how the BJT is used as a switch, and you will also be able to describe BJT switching operation. All right. Please stop me wherever you feel that I'm fast and you want me to go slow, or if more clarity is required. All right. Okay. So there are important 3 points that you have to understand here. So when we say BJT is working in active region or it is operating in active region, if you recall the biasing part, all right, recall the biasing part, how we bias the device there. The base emitter junction was forward biased, if you recall, all right, and the collector base junction was reverse biased. Forward biased BE, the junction base emitter junction should be forward biased, and the collector base junction was reverse biased when we were discussing BJT as working as an amplifier, right? And I had mentioned that if at all BJT is operating in active region or also called linear region, then base emitter junction should be forward biased always, and collector base junction should be reverse biased. This should be kept in mind. All right. Now, coming in the same way, coming to the other two conditions or other two regions, that is cutoff region. In cutoff region, both the junctions, that is base emitter junction and the collector base junctions, will be reverse biased. This is very important point to understand and to know what it is. All right. And if you are saying BJT is operating in saturation region, then base emitter region and both collector base junction, not region, sorry, junction, base emitter and collector base junctions, both junctions should be forward biased. Both junctions should be forward biased. Whereas in cutoff region, both junctions should be reverse biased. I hope you are able to recall the construction and biasing part there. All right. So if you keep this in mind, all right, how the biasing has to be done, that is the junctions, how are you biasing the junctions? If you are familiar with this, then you will understand how is the BJT operating, whether it is operating as an amplifier or a switch. So to understand more about the working of the BJT, let us consider this collector characteristic curve. Okay. Observe that I'm talking about collector characteristic curve. And what is the orientation of this BJT here, the transistor? Can you recall what is this configuration? What type of configuration is this in the circuit of the BJT? Configuration. I'm talking about configuration. I'm not asking what type of BJT is it. Please understand the question. Common emitter. Yeah, Jane answered correctly. It is common emitter configuration. Okay. Yeah, Satvik, Emlyn. Yeah. Most of you have answered. So please understand the question. The question asked was, what is the configuration of the BJT used here? All right. So it is a common emitter. Observe that this is your input port, this is your output port, or also you can call it as this is input circuit and output circuit. For that, the emitter is common. Emitter is taken as common to the input circuit and the output circuit, right? So this is common emitter configuration. And obviously, yeah, you answered rightly. This is a NPN type of transistor, right? So when you know it is a NPN type of transistor, then you should be knowing the direction of the current flowing through and the parameters. What is the input current, input voltage, output current, output voltage. So you should be familiar with that. So obviously, when I'm saying we'll concentrate on the collector characteristic curve, that means we are talking about the output characteristics, right? So output parameter, the output current is collector current. We are very familiar now, all right? Now output voltage is VCE. Remember, output voltage is VCE. Now, if at all, if we are plotting a graph where um, uh, the collector current, how it varies with the voltage VCE for a particular value of, say, base current. Base current is your input current, right? So that would give you the output characteristics, or also called as collector characteristic curves. I'll repeat. If you are plotting graph of collector current, which is your output current, with respect to VCE, which is your output voltage, for a particular value of base current, then that plot would be, or the graph or the characteristic curve would be of the output characteristic or the collector characteristic. All right. So what do I'm saying here? Say you vary VBB such that there will be particular value of base current in the circuit. So this base current is your input current, which is nothing but the input at the base terminal here, the base current. All right. So for particular value of base current, how is the collector current varying for different values or different conditions of VCE? Then now how do you vary VCE? You can control it by VCC. I hope you are able to get the circuit there. Are you able to get the circuit? All right. So I repeat, for now I want particular value of base current. Okay. For particular value of base current. So how do I control this base current? I will vary VBB, right? So if I vary this VBB, obviously it will be varying the current here, base current. Okay. And we know as there is variation in the base current, the collector current also varies, right? And you should be knowing the relation, all the relations by this time. Okay. So now, if at all I'm controlling this VCE through VCC. So if I vary VCC, it will be obviously varying VCE, right? Again, the biasing part, remember the biasing part there. So varying VCC, I can vary VCE, all right? So this collector current, it depends on the voltage across the collector and emitter as well, right? So if we are doing this, that is nothing but we are getting different values of the collector current, and if we plot that, it is nothing but the collector characteristic curve. So typically the collector characteristic curve will look like this. I hope it is clearly visible. All right. So observe here, for one particular instance, for one particular base current. All right. Now say we have varied VBB and we have adjusted and taken for one particular base current. So for a particular value of base current, if at all I vary VCE, in x-axis we have VCE. Now how do I vary VCE? By varying VCC, right? Right? So if VCE is varied, the collector current, which is your output current, the dependent parameter, also changes or varies, right? So observe here, when the VCE is varied, all right, initially, all right, now recall the construction part. Recall the construction part. How will be the the junctions there? Keeping a particular base current, that means the base emitter junction will be forward biased, isn't it? Right? And initially, if you take VCC is equal to 0, what will be the condition? What will be the condition of the base collector junction? Can anyone tell me? If I keep VCC is equal to 0 volts, what will be the condition or the biasing condition of base collector junction? Base collector junction. Yeah, I'm keeping VCC is equal to 0 volts. All right. So what will be the condition of the base collector junction? I hope you have the notes. Open your notes and check. No, I'm talking about how is it biased? Is it forward biased or reverse biased? Forward biased, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Please understand the construction there. Go back to your notes, open the construction part. All right. Now, what I'm saying here is, if at all I keep VCC is equal to uh, 0 volts, all right, and I said I varied VBB and I have considered some value of base current, right? All right, I have some value of base current now. So the base emitter junction is forward biased, and if at all I'm keeping VCC as 0 volts, then base collector junction is also forward biased, isn't it? So in that condition, if I'm varying VCE, the other junction, the base collector junction, is also forward biased. So as I'm varying VCE, look at this, the collector current is also increasing. Forward bias condition, isn't it? Are you all with me? So this region, when both the junctions are forward biased, right? So there, as you vary VCE, the collector current is increasing till VCE is less than 0.7. Observe here. Till the voltage applied across the collector and emitter junctions, if it is less than 0.7, 0.7 means what? That is the condition where I will come back to that. First, you understand, when both the junctions are forward biased, as VCE is varied, collector current also will increase slowly along with the VCE. So that part is shown here. So understand here, this VCE is less than 0.7 volts. Now observe, if VCE crosses 0.7 volts, what would be the condition of the base collector junction? Go back to your construction diagram there and observe, if the voltage applied across VCE, if it is crossing 0.7, what would be the biasing condition at base collector junction? Will it be reverse biased? Because at the, yes, it is reverse bias condition, because the potential at, okay, you are able to understand, fine, yeah. So if the voltage across VCE, if it is crossing 0.7 volts, then the base collector junction will become reverse bias. The junction, remember, I'm talking about the base collector junction. Now, recall the condition there. The base emitter junction is forward biased and the base collector junction is reverse biased. What is this condition, operating condition? That is when the BJT is in active region. Correct, exactly correct. That is the region when the BJT is in active region. Observe here. So this is the region where the collector current will be almost now saturated. All right, almost saturated. And this is the region where we say the BJT is in active region. You can observe that in the graph as well. Okay, so you understood saturation region, you understood active region. Saturation region is one when base emitter junction and base collector junction both are forward biased. Okay, so when VCE is less than 0.7 volts, as you're varying VCE, slowly the collector current also will increase. Okay, once VCE crosses 0.7 volts, that is the region when the base collector junction will be reverse biased and there will be saturated collector current. Okay, that is the active region operation of the BJT. So that is indicated here in the graph. This is active region. And we know the collector current here, it is measured by the expression there. IC is equal to beta times what? Can anyone tell me? Beta times IB, correct? Yeah, recall that. Yeah, so using that expression, we measure the collector current here in the active region. Okay, so that then observe here, if you are varying VCE further, then the there is a breakdown region, and there is tremendous increase in the collector current. So this should never be happening. This should this VCE maximum should never be achieved or operated in that particular voltage. All right, that is the breakdown region. Now observe about cutoff. If at all base current is zero, when will be the base current zero according to this circuit? If there is no voltage applied at all, isn't it? So there is no biasing voltage here, VBB, then the base current also will be zero. So if the base current is zero, there will be no current as well, right? Yeah. So there will be no current, that is the collector current, but there will be some leakage current, which we call it as collector to emitter leakage current, ICEO. All right, observe the terminology there, ICEO. So there will be small collector to emitter current, okay, when the base is open. That's why the term ICEO. ICEO stands for collector to emitter leakage current when the base is open. Okay, so here as you can observe from the graph here, when the IB, the base current, is zero, there will be some leakage current, which we call it as ICEO. So here in the graph it is exaggerated here. The current, leakage current, won't be so much, but just for visualization it is exaggerated. Okay, to show that there will be some leakage current. All right, and as you can observe here, for different base currents, the response, the collector characteristic curve would look like this. Okay, where you know that all these currents, say IB3 is greater than IB2, which is greater than IB1, like that. All right, you can observe here. Are you able to get the different regions of operation of BJT here? If this is clear, then you will understand how the BJT is used as a switch. You will understand the switching operation. Are you all with me? Any doubt at any point? Can you once summarize? Yes, sure. I will summarize. So according to the graph here, this graph will clearly give us a picture or the understanding how the BJT operates in 3 different regions. All right. When the emitter base junction and the collector base junction both are forward biased, okay, as VC is varied, the collector current also will increase in accordance with the VCE. All right, okay. So taking this condition here, initially you adjust VB in such a way that you have one value of IB. Say you keep VCC 0 initially. Okay, when VC is 0, all right, for particular value of IB, slowly you start varying VCC. That is, you are controlling VCE. If you are varying VCE, all right, again a mild rate, it should be less than 0.7 volts. So as you are varying, the collector current increases. So in this condition, this is the region of saturation region where the current is increasing with VCE. All right, current is there and it is increasing according to VCE. And the junction condition is both the junction, base emitter junction, base collector junction, both are forward biased. Once this VCE crosses 0.7 volts, so that will be the condition when base collector junction will become reverse biased. So base emitter junction is forward biased, base collector junction is reverse biased. That is the condition we know when BJT is operating in active region. And we know that the collector current will be almost saturated. This slight increase you can observe here between B and C. This is because of, say, there is a reverse bias junction there and the depletion region caused, and due to which the collector current can be measured in terms of expression IC is equal to beta times IB, right? So that is what is indicated here, slight variation in the collector current, all right? And coming to cutoff region, when both the junctions, base emitter junction and base collector junction, both are reverse biased. Okay, observe here, the base current is 0 there. If base current is 0, all right, so that means there is no both the junction, base emitter junction is reverse bias, base collector junction is also reverse bias. So in that condition, there will be no output, that is, there will be no collector current, but there will be some leakage current. Collector to emitter current will be there. So that is negligible, but there will be some leakage current. So typically, when there is no base current is 0, then we say there is no collector current. All right. So that is cutoff region, cutoff region of the BJT. Now, coming to the switching operation of the BJT, as I said, using this two regions, that is cutoff region and saturation region, we can use BJT to operate or function as the switch, all right? So that is indicated here, all right? From the first part here, as you can see, the transistor, if it is used in cutoff region, where both the base emitter and collector base junctions are reverse bias, then we can use the BJT as an open switch. So as indicated here, all right, open switch. That means it is acting in, operating in a cutoff region. There is no collector current, right? Base current will be 0, collector current will be 0. That it means it is acting as an open switch. It means here the BJT. And if you observe the other part, if you are using BJT as a closed switch condition, that means it is operating in a saturation region. Now you're already familiar what is saturation region. If the BJT is both the junctions are forward biased, right? Collector base junction and collector base emitter junction and base collector junction, both are forward biased, then for a particular value of base current, there will be a saturated collector current. Observe that there will be saturated collector current. For every different value of base current, there will be saturated collector current, right? So that is when you are using BJT as a closed switch. Okay, I hope you are able to recall that. For different value of base current, there is, that leakage current, ICEO, what I mentioned, it is very negligible, very negligible. So sometimes, not sometimes, like it is almost neglected. Okay, that's what I mentioned here. In the graph, it is shown in an exaggerated way, so that you understand that even when there is no base current, there is no collector current, but there will be leakage current. So that leakage current will be very small and negligible. It is always neglected. Okay. Okay. So that is about this the condition of the BJT operating in a say cutoff or saturation region and used as a switch. So there are important points to note here. Okay. So in condition of cutoff, we know that cutoff condition is where both the junctions are forward biased or reverse biased.
Reverse.
Both the junctions are reverse biased. I hope all are there. Okay. Both the junctions are reverse biased. So observe here, this is a typical circuit where the base will be say like hanging. There is no input at the base. Okay. Base current will be zero. Base current will be zero. Okay. And observe there is some leakage current. So at this condition, this leakage current can almost neglected, and the condition VCE here, okay, there is no collector current, but the voltage VCE will be equal to the applied voltage VCC. So this is a condition which you have to clearly understand. In a cutoff region, when the BJT is operating in cutoff region, both the junctions will be reverse biased. All right. Both the junctions will be reverse biased, and VCE cutoff will be always equal to VCC. This is one condition. Okay, please note down. In cutoff, VCE cutoff will be equal to VCC. Okay, next, coming to the conditions in saturation. Saturation condition, you all already know. The first condition is both the junctions should be forward biased, right? Both the junctions are forward biased, and you will get the maximum collector current, which we call it as the IC sat, the saturated collector current. All right. So that can be measured or got from this expression, VCC minus VC sat by RC. That is applying KVL here, KVL at the output port. All right. So applying KVL, for a particular value of base current, all right, for a particular value of base current, the saturated collector current can be got by this expression. All right, the collector current, which we call it a saturated collector current. This is a condition of saturation. I'm talking about when BJT is in saturation region. All right, we know saturation region is when the first condition is both the junctions should be forward biased. When both the junctions are forward biased, if you apply KVL and if you get this relation VCE is equal to VCC minus ICRC, this saturated collector current can be got by this expression. Please note down, IC sat is equal to VCC minus VCE sat by RC. And if you recall the characteristic curve now, what we discussed just now, VCE was very small, isn't it? In the saturation region, when the BJT is operating in the saturation region, VCE was less than 0.7 volts. Remember from the characteristic curve? So this is the voltage VCE, which we call it as VCE sat. It is less than 0.7 volts and which is very small compared to VCC. So it will be generally neglected. All right. So to get the saturation collector current, you can simply go for the expression VCC by RC, neglecting VCE sat, since it is very small compared to VCC. Okay. Now, we get this saturated collector current for a particular value of base current, remember, right? So what should be the minimum value of base current so that I will get the saturated collector current? So to find that, we can use this expression IB minimum, that is the minimum base current that is required at the input so that I will get a saturated collector current in the saturation region of the BJT. That can be got by this expression. IB minimum is equal to IC sat by beta DC. All these are important expressions. Please note down. And I hope you are able to understand and relate these expressions with the theory part what we just now discussed. So you have to recall what is saturation region, what is active region, what is cutoff region, what are the different conditions there. So recall all the theory what we discussed just now. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Are you able to understand all the points? Okay. Yeah, I know these people, those are answering now, will always understand, except the other 50 people. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, then you should be able to solve this problem. All right, guys. Yeah. Can you try solving this problem quickly? Yeah, no need of, see, learning is for your own sake. You need not just give me yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, good morning, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I'm not expecting this good morning, thank you, or yes, ma'am, and all. I want you to learn. All right. Just typing those things, I'm not at all interested in that. Okay, go through this problem and just check whether you are able to solve this. For the transistor circuit shown in the figure, what is VCE when Vin is equal to 0 volts? Second question, what minimum value of IB is required to saturate this transistor if beta DC given is 200? And third question is, calculate the maximum value of RB. Maximum value of RB when Vin is 5 volts. Take down the question and try if you can solve that. First go through what are the points, parameters given there. Check whether you are able to solve, any idea about like how to proceed and all. Excuse me. Well, how to get the solution for the first one? For the transistor shown in the circuit, if Vin is 0, then what should be VCE is the question. VCE, first question, please. Let us go with in the sequence there. VCE is equal to, what is the term there? What is the condition? VCE is equal to VCC, isn't it? So that is the condition. Yeah, that is the condition of the cutoff condition. When Vin is equal to 0 means it is cutoff condition of the BJT. And in the cutoff condition of BJT, we know VCE is equal to VCC. Yeah, you have to give that condition. Just like that, if you give it is 10 volts, will not be sufficient. I told you, as professionals, when you answer me, the answer is 10 volts, it is correct. But how is it you have to prove it? All right. Okay. That's what I'm trying. Okay, please wait here. I'm trying to talk to people, those who have the habit of giving answers like for this condition. Say VC is equal to 10 volts. It is right answer. But you have to justify your answer. All right. So you have to give there the condition for cutoff when BJT is operating in a cutoff condition. VCE will be equal to VCC, which will be equal to 10 volts. That is the way you have to answer. Okay. Now, going back to second. what minimum value of IB is required to saturate this transistor if beta DC given is 200? Neglect VCE SAT is given. What is the question? Understand the question. What minimum value of IB is required? That means what is asked here? What is the minimum base current required? So what expression will you use? Yes, first find IC SAT. Exactly correct. So I was going in a reverse order. First, to have this expression, IB minimum is equal to IC SAT by beta DC, right? First, we have to find IC SAT. So IC SAT, we have the expression there. Yeah, correct. Yeah, always try to give answer in milli or micro, okay? Current should be always expressed in terms of milli or micro. You have to convert it. So IC SAT is 10 milliamps. Yes, correct. Observe here. In the question, it is clearly given. Neglect VCE SAT. So we know the expression IC SAT is equal to, yes, VCC minus VCE SAT by RC. Neglecting VCE SAT, we have VCC by RC. All right, it is 10 milliamps and minimum base current. Yeah, Ashwija.
Ma'am, can you once show the question?
What minimum value of IB is required to saturate this transistor if beta DC is 200? Observe that. The question clearly said to saturate this transistor. That means the transistor should be operating in a saturation region. So what should be the minimum base current required is the question. You have to understand the question clearly. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to see third one.
This one, yeah. Calculate the maximum value of RB when Vin is 5 volts.
Ma'am, is it like 86,000 ohms?
What is the solution? Let me check here. Yes, 86 kilo ohms. Solution is here. Please check it. Now we know already that applying KVL at the input, okay, VRB is equal to Vin minus VBE. VBE we know when it is forward bias, we will always take 0.7 volts, right? And we want RB. So this VRB is nothing but IB into RB. Okay, IB you have just calculated. This is the minimum base current required, 50 microamps. All right. So for this base current, what should be the value of RB? Correct. Okay. Hope you are with me. Yeah. So that is the KVL. Solution is given. Please go through. If you have doubt, get it clarified. Yeah. All right. So let me proceed to the last part here, last example. Quickly, I have 5 more minutes. Observe here. This is another example where the BJT is used as a switch. All right. Look at the circuit there. Please pay attention quickly. This is application part. So there is a LED which is connected at the collector terminal of the transistor here. All right. And observe the input to the transistor, which is at the base, is a square wave. All right. Now we are already familiar what is cutoff region and what is saturation region. And you are already familiar now what should be the biasing condition of both the junctions of the transistor, right? So when say there is maximum voltage at the input, all right? Now when it is a square wave, the 0th level will be taken as 0 volts, and maximum value for square wave, the maximum amplitude, say assume it to be 5 volts. Okay, so 0 and 5. So there will be two conditions of the voltage, right? 0 volts, 5 volts, 0 volts, 5 volts. Okay, so for this square wave, when the input is 0, when the input is 0, V in is 0, what is the condition of the transistor? When the input is 0, what is the condition of the
And it's cut
transistor?
off.
It is in cutoff, correct? Because the base emitter junction is reverse bias, so it is cut off, it is in cutoff region. So there will be no collector current, correct? No collector current means LED will not be forward biased, and there is no, you cannot turn on the LED. So LED will be switched off, correct? When V in is in the, that is square wave, it has reached the maximum value, 5 volts. When V in is 5 volts, what will be the condition here? There is already VCC, right? So the both the junctions, the base emitter junction, base collector junction, both will be forward biased. So it is a saturation condition of the, or the region of the transistor. Yes, transistor is in saturation region, correct? So there will be saturated collector current, detrusted, what is that? Yeah, there is saturated collector current, so that will turn on the LED, right? So according to the square wave input at the base of the transistor, the LED will be, okay, fine. The LED will be turned on, turned off, turned on, turned off. Okay, so LED is on, off. Then what is the role of the transistor here? Is it acting as a switch? The transistor, is it acting as a switch? Yes, right? Correct. So that is the application of the transistor now, and you are now familiar how the transistor can be used as a switch. So this is a simple and best example to understand transistor used as a switch. So for that, obviously you should know all the conditions for the transistor to operate in cutoff region and to operate in saturation region. What are the conditions required there? All right. So quickly, can you try or take down this as a homework? Let's see if I can find the solutions. Take this problem as a homework. The LED in the figure requires 30 milliamps to emit a sufficient level of light. The same circuit. For the following circuit values, determine the amplitude of the square wave input voltage necessary to make the transistor saturate, or make sure that the transistor saturates. Can anyone tell me what is asked? What is asked in the question? What do you have to find? What do you have to determine? IB. It's not IB, Rita. Observe the question there. Determine the
Ma'am, it is
amplitude.
V internal.
Is V in, correct. V in input voltage. What is the input voltage required is asked. Yes, obviously, editor, what you understood is correct. You should know what is the base current. So to get the minimum base current, you need V in, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, correct, exactly. But you would have gone one step back, that's all. But you were right, So first you have to go in a reverse order. You should know what should be the minimum base current required. To find the base current also for saturation, that is transistor to saturate, first you have to find what is minimum base current. To find that, you need what should be the input voltage. Okay. Yeah, take this as a homework. All the parameters are given here. VCC is 9 volts, VC is 0.3, RC is 220 ohms, RB is 3.3 kilo ohms, beta is 50, and the voltage across the LED is given as 1.6 volts. try this. Let's see. We'll continue in the next class. I hope you have understood today's class, and we will stop here. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you give me 30 seconds once?
Yeah. I'm